Rock and roll artist Rick Nelson died in a Texas private jet crash Sunday night. The life of America's first teen idol. In DeKalb, Texas, Ricky Nelson died on his way to a Dallas New Year's Eve event. Nelson's tale is back in the news. Not about his music this time. New revelations concerning his legacy have surfaced years after his death. Ricky Nelson dies on New Year's Eve. They shocked many. His money had long been rumored, but no one understood the complete truth until now. The discovery is shocking and generating additional questions. He built a huge estate. How? Long silence. Why? This affects his legacy now. We'll reveal Ricky Nelson's hidden money and why it changes everything. Ricky Nelson's youth. Our lives have taught us that the complete story of a man's life doesn't always emerge until after his death. That happened to Ricky Nelson. Many thought they knew everything about the music idol, his fame, money, and estate for years. His family and others were surprised by recent revelations about what he left behind. Nobody expected so much beneath the surface. How did America's first adolescent idol secretly become wealthy? Let's start the story from scratch. Eric Hilliard Nelson had baby Ricky on May 8, 1940, in Teaneck, New Jersey, one of Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard's younger children. From the start, he was entertaining. The Nelsons began Ozzie and Harriet, one of America's most beloved family sitcoms, in 1952. Ozzie and Harriet's Bethlehem events in today's news. The couple enjoyed a date with a few hundred Lehigh University students before becoming one of America's favorite TV families. The 12-year-old Ricky accompanied his parents and older brother David on the set. The show showed actual and contrived situations in the Nelsons' lives, making it hard to discern real from performed. People liked Ricky's acting too. Ricky released his first song, I'm Walkin', in 1957. His recording career began when the song went viral. Thus, Ricky Nelson became one of the earliest rock and roll teenage idols. Ricky wasn't only using his parents' popularity like his siblings. He built something unique. Nelson's Poor Little Fool, Hello Mary Lou, and Travelin' Man made him famous. During the early 1960s, he sold millions of singles and appeared on Billboard. What made Ricky Nelson's career unique was his ability to transition from TV to music. He performed on the show and had a successful music career. Teenagers and parents trusted him due to his clean-cut look and quiet, pleasant speech. He helped define American pop stars before social media and music videos. It appeared Ricky Nelson had everything at his peak: talent, fame, and music history. His success, like many youthful stars, cost him. The calm voice and immaculate demeanor hit a man battling to keep his world together. In 1963, Ricky married actress Kristen Harmon, daughter of football icon Tom Harmon. Their 4 children were Tracy, Gunnar, Matthew, and Sam. To the outside world, they were the perfect Hollywood family. Home life was much more difficult. Things change here, so stay with us. The 1970s changed Ricky's music career. His sound faded due to the British invasion and shifting musical tastes. Country rock with the Stone Canyon Band was his response to this transformation. My book, he was with Elvis. In the golden age of rock and roll, Elvis was king and Ricky was Prince Charming. His voice is fantastic and beautiful. Rick Nelson had a TV show, good looks, a wonderful band, and a 7-year chart topper. His 1972 song was Garden Party. The rejection he received when performing his old songs for new audiences inspired this song. Ricky realized how drastically the world and music had changed. Along with his stage struggles, life was getting harder off stage. Ricky's home was filled with smoking, booze, and anxiety by the early 1970s. Kristen subsequently said they partied hard with drugs and drink. Ricky and she both went to treatment, but he started missing it. Kristen filed for divorce in 1977, citing substance abuse and emotional maltreatment. After a brief reconciliation, the harm was done. The marriage terminated in December 1982 after years of turmoil. Ricky's already difficult personal life was further strained by the divorce's $1 million legal bills and maintenance. Despite these obstacles, Ricky performed. For more than money, music still delighted him. Now, venues were smaller, paychecks were thinner, and pressure was higher. Most remembered the adolescent star, but few saw him grappling with a far more challenging life. He persisted. Friends said he wanted a personal and professional start. Ricky Nelson traveled with Helen Blair, a new partner who provided him calm. Despite rebuilding, time was running out. December 31st, 1985, tragedy struck. The plane carrying Ricky Nelson crashed in DeKalb, Texas, on his route to a Dallas New Year's Eve show. World singer picked up on a December 31st, 1985 plane crash in DeKalb, Texas. Plane carried Ricky Nelson. Heater issues likely caused the Douglas DC-3 plane to catch fire. In the crash, Ricky lost his fiancée Helen Blair and 5 bandmates. Only the pilot and co-pilot got away. News startled fans nationwide. Ricky was 45 at the time. Musical artists, actors, and long-standing fans sent tributes. He was less famous in his later years, but his sudden demise reminded people of their decades-long friendship. At his burial, hundreds attended, and Ricky was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills. Ricky's children's inheritance was much debated after his death. People thought he left nothing. Others claimed he left his home and music rights. Some think he left something more personal. What precisely did Ricky Nelson leave? Look into it. Assets of Ricky Nelson. In 1985, most assumed Ricky Nelson died without a legacy. After all, his divorce had sapped his money, and his later job wasn't as lucrative. Secretly, something shocking was happening. Through checks, contracts, and copyrights that didn't disappear, Ricky's legacy emerged. Indeed, Ricky Nelson made one decision that proved more valuable than expected. He kept important music rights. Many musicians of his day surrendered publishing rights early on, but Ricky kept possession of his library. This ensured that his songs still made money whether they were broadcast on the radio, on TV shows, or bought by fans. Hello Mary Lou, Lonesome Town, Poor Little Fool, and Travelin' Man kept earning royalties after Ricky left. Songs aren't just old recordings collecting dust. They represent classics that continue appearing in new formats. CDs, cassettes, downloads, and streaming platforms. Ricky's family benefited from his music's longevity because he kept those rights. Ricky Nelson's oeuvre lasted, unlike many music stars of his period. Monthly and annual revenue came quietly. His children don't live in luxury, but they're not poor. Hope remains, and the economy is recovering slowly. Music was just the start. Another unanticipated source of money was his breakout show, American sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky Nelson star in Ozzie and Harriet. Who plays Ozzie Nelson? Now a nostalgic treasure trove. More cash came from syndication rights, DVD collections, and digital licensing for historic TV stations. Many people forget that Ozzie and Harriet was early branding and entertainment. It made Ricky famous. As a cast member and family member who controlled much of the show's production, he had a long-term stake in its success. As networks reran or licensed clips decades later, the estate made regular money. Despite not being a big picture or album, the checks kept coming. Ricky's name was rising slowly. The unexpected finding that changed everything. Keep watching. That Ricky's music and TV earnings barely supported him after his divorce is well known. Little remained after legal bills, child support, and lifestyle expenses. Imagine sharing the remaining funds between 4 children, extended relatives, creditors, and unsolved legal difficulties. The finances were bad. Right after his tragic demise, the Nelson family faced such dilemma. Everything changed when Ricky's estate's lawyers examined the documentation and royalty accounts. They spotted an issue. Ricky's earnings were astonishingly modest despite his radio, movie, and digital music popularity. Once, the family took a bold choice. They wouldn't be quiet. Fighting was imminent. Auditors and royalty experts were appointed to track finances for the estate. The findings shocked. Not only were there missed checks, but entire categories of earnings, especially from international markets and digital downloads, were unaccounted for. As they looked, it appeared that some of the biggest music labels had secretly profited on Ricky's legacy while paying little. The tipping point was Ricky Nelson's estate joining a Sony Music class action lawsuit in 2018. The federal lawsuit accused Sony of deliberately reducing foreign streaming royalty payouts by charging intercompany deductions or fees between branches in different countries, then passing those losses on to artists. Ricky's family claimed that this was morally wrong, illegal, and had cost the estate hundreds of thousands, probably millions, over the years. 2 years were spent in court. Sony initially denied guilt and resisted accusations. More proof and pressure from other class action artists changed things. The corporation had trouble justifying its conduct. Sony finally settled with the Nelsons for $12.7 million in 2020. Furthermore, they agreed to adjust royalties calculation going ahead, ensuring artists and their families earned a fair share from streaming and re-releases. The Nelson family won more than money. Justice was served. They finally cleared the air after years of being disregarded and underpaid. Money wasn't everything. Honoring Ricky's heritage and respecting his music contributions was key. Labels other than Sony were engaged. At the same time, the estate settled with Capitol Records, Ricky's longtime label. Capitol was also accused by the Nelson family of underpaying iTunes and streaming services. The estate was paid confidentially and promised royalty transparency in that instance. These lawsuits changed more than money. Ricky Nelson, a 1950s superstar adolescent idol, was a sentimental figure for decades. Fortunately, his family's efforts revealed his true contribution. He wasn't merely a pretty singer with hits. One more benefit? Rock benefits have entered a new era. It's personal, not for a cause. Specifically for them. This serious musician, pioneering performer, and artist was victimized by the system he helped construct. Finally, Ricky Nelson's children could breathe after the legal victory. The weight of their father's legacy left them stressed financially and feeling that his hard work had been forgotten for years. Everything he accomplished yielded little. Now that royalties were restored and the estate was organized, they could construct. What are Ricky's children doing with his legacy? Let's examine. The Ricky Nelson future. The Nelson family won more than money after the court struggle. They suddenly had more responsibility. Reviving their father's legacy. It required loving care. Today, Ricky Nelson's children are influenced by stardom, personal sorrow, and the legacy of a beloved father. The estate was repaired and the truth revealed, giving their trips a new purpose and significance. Ricky's oldest child, Tracy Nelson, had a hard existence. The 1963-born actress made her film debut as a kid. She was born to act. Ozzie and Harriet were her grandparents, and her father was an early TV celebrity. She faced life's challenges despite her prominence. In the late 1980s, Tracy Nelson was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma months after marrying. Shocking news. When her adulthood began, she stood strong. Health struggles continued. Thyroid, then breast. Tracy overcome each challenge and emerged stronger. She spoke out, worked with cancer groups, wrote, and raised awareness using her father's fortune as funding. Her efforts won her honors and admiration. Her role has expanded beyond Ricky Nelson's daughter. Survival, motherhood, and advocacy are her roles. The Nelsons, her memoir, recounted her family's tale with honesty, love, and grace. Tracy was fighting her own issues and forging a career in acting and health advocacy. But her 1967-born twin brothers, Gunnar and Matthew, were struggling differently. Showing their musical talent sans their father's shadow. Nelson's 1990 smash song, Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection, launched them to the world. Some charts placed the song at #1, and their debut album, After the Rain, went double platinum. They possessed the early 1990s pop-rock band formula: long blonde hair, great vocal harmonies, and emotive tunes. They appeared to be rising stars. But music evolves quickly. Gunnar and Matthew felt out of place when grunge overtook glossy pop. They bravely chose not to follow trends or fit in. After leaving their main label, they founded Stone Canyon Records. The band their father started to escape industry control inspired the name. It wasn't easy, but it followed their cultural ideals, protecting their artistic independence and being oneself in music. They found something more meaningful than chart success. Mission. Their inheritance funded Gunnar and Matthew's 2010 Ricky Nelson Remembered live show. Not just a concert. The memorial featured music, personal anecdotes, and rare family footage. They wanted to sing more than their father's songs. It was to show a new generation his true self. Viewers loved it. The trip was popular for its music, passion, and history. They spoke the same thing differently. The performance is a love letter to their father, who altered music and television. By bringing his voice back to people via music and stories, they're honoring him. Ricky Nelson's children didn't all become celebrities. Youngest of four, Sam Nelson, was born in 1974 and led a peaceful life. Sam's early years were emotional roller coasters after his parents' divorce. Sam Nelson played a prominent role in the 1987 custody fight between his mother, Kristen, and his uncle, actor Mark Harmon. It brought private family issues to the national spotlight. Sam retired from stardom as he aged. Psychology and movies were his studies. Lifestyle focused on personal growth and creativity. He managed parts of the Nelson estate, worked in creative sectors, and protected his father's legacy without seeking notoriety. His quietness doesn't indicate distance. Family members claim Sam has helped preserve Ricky's name and music. The stunner follows. 5 children were born to Ricky Nelson. Introducing Eric Jude Crew. After a brief engagement with Georgian Crew, Ricky had him in 1981. Eric was a secret for years. Lawsuits showed Ricky was the father. and he was forced to pay child support. Still, the Nelsons never publicly embraced Eric. His exclusion from Ricky's will was notable. Eric and his family never fully recovered. He does not have a close relationship with his half-siblings. All of this shows that the Nelson children didn't inherit fame. Pain, division, and broken pieces from a limelight existence were passed on to them. Their father's death, legal challenges, public hardships, and private anguish. They carried all. The family has survived everything. They made a difficult past meaningful. They chose to preserve Ricky's legacy, learn from it, and share it in their own manner rather than allow the agony to define them. The Nelsons' memorial events and litigation victories against big record firms have brought audiences to their feet, honoring their father through music and action. So indeed, Ricky Nelson left behind a fortune so large that it made his family cry, not just for the money, but for what it represented. Justice came after years of grief, silence, and struggle. That luck wasn't easy. They fought for everything. What did Ricky Nelson leave? Do you think his children will carry on his legacy? Please comment below. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Click the video also displayed. Enjoy it.